Welcome to the Estonian Cricket Weekly. I am Ragne Hallik. Before we start, don't forget to like the video, subscribe and share it with your friends to help us spread Estonian cricket to the world. This week we had 2 matches in the Men's Indoor League Division 1 and a second double-header in the Women's Indoor League, while it was the 7th week of the Kids Intro program. Match 1, Wolves vs Riders. Riders won the toss and decided to bowl first. With only 6 players, it was going to be a tough ask from them. And Wolves' opening pair, Ali and Asif, got their side off to a great start, scoring 41 with only 1 wicket falling. Pair 2, Ali Raza and Danielle, extended the Wolves' score by further 49, despite each batter being dismissed once. Riders fought back a bit against Mubasha and Muhammad in pair 3, getting them out a total of 4 times, but they still managed to move their score to 114. But the final pair was all Riders, with Ragne and Rana doing all the bowling against Sohaib and Samiullah. The final pair were dismissed 7 times, so Wolves ended up on 103. Top scorer for Wolves was Ali Raza with 35, while Rana was the pick of the bowlers for the Riders with 3 for 35 from 4 overs. Wolves got their defence off to a perfect start, picking up wickets with the first 3 balls of Danielle's opening over against Anand and Kush. The pair were out a total of 6 times, but were able to leave their team on 6 runs. Pair 2 for Riders, Rana and Ragne really got their side chase going, combining for 40 runs. In his 2-time at bat, Ragne scored 32 and 11, while the Wolves' Mubashar took 3 for 23, which helped him be awarded Player of the Match, on top of his 31 runs and 1 run out. For their second game of the day, Wolves were playing strikers. Strikers won the toss and elected to bowl. Once again, Wolves' pair of Ali Masood and Asif got off to a strong start. Neither batter was dismissed in their 4 overs and they scored 45 runs. Sohaib and Samiullah were not so lucky. Strikers were able to get them out 5 times and restricted them to only adding 6 to Wolves' score. But Ali Raza and Danielle responded well for Wolves. Even though both batters were out twice, they moved their team score to 82 runs. Mubashar and Nabil were the final pair for Wolves, and they met some good tight bowling from Gul and Sohaib. But with only 1 wicket falling, they put on 25 to leave Wolves on 107. Top scorer for Wolves was Ali Masood with 20, while Gul was the pick of the strikers' bowlers with 1 for 9 from 2 overs. In reply, strikers came out firing, with Habib finding the back wall with regularity in the first over, and he and Dalah scored 22 from it. But Wolves struck back and dismissed Habib 3 times, so the pair scored 31. Pair 2 of Rashid and Gul played some good shots, but suicidal running cost them dearly. And with both of them getting out 5 times, the score only climbed to 40 after 4 overs. Shuvo and Sohaib were in next for strikers, and they needed to put on a good score if they were going to give their final pair a chance to chase the runs. Unfortunately, they were not able to do that. Wolves picked up 4 wickets for the pair, and the strikers were on 49 with 4 overs remaining and needed 59 to win. If anyone for strikers could get this score, it was the final pair of Zishan and Arslan, and they started off well, getting 15 runs from the first over, but Nabil stepped up to bowl the 14th. With a good support from his field, he only allowed the strikers' pair to score 3 runs. When Mubashar bowled Zishan with the second ball of the 15th, it was all over for strikers, who ended up on 76, meaning the Wolves were victors by 31 runs. Arslan top scored for strikers with 25. Player of the match was Ali Masood for his 20 runs, 3 wickets and 2 run-outs.
In the first match of the double-header between Tiskra Penguins and Tallinn Cricket Club, Tallinn won the toss and chose to bowl first. It was always going to be a tough ask for Tallinn, as they had to play with only 5 after their star all-rounder Victoria was out with a fractured finger she picked up 2 days before. And Penguins' opening pair Olga and Yekaterina got their side off to a good start, putting on 28 as they only lost 1 wicket when Olga was run out by Ragne. Pair 2 of Beanish and Sharmali continued the solid scoring, adding a further 21 runs. It had looked like the pair would play a faultless 3 overs until Sharmali was dismissed, thanks to an excellent catch from Hannah off the bowling of Fatima. If Tallinn could pick up a couple of wickets from their third pair, they would still be in the game. Unfortunately, they made it easy for Geetma and Kalpana, with too many wides and no balls. Fatima did manage to get a second wicket when she bowled Geetma, but the damage was done, with Penguins finishing on 81 from their 9 overs. Top scorer for Penguins was Yekaterina with 12, while Fatima was the pick of the Tallinn bowlers with 2 wickets for 12 from her 2 overs. With such a big total to chase, Tallinn needed to get off to a good start, but it was the Penguins who dominated from the beginning, restricting the opening pair of Hannah and Natalia to 2, thanks to them dismissing Hannah 3 times, 2 run-outs and a bowled. Tallinn's second pair of Ragne and Fatima only fared slightly better. Ragne was out twice, once hit roof and once bowled, and they crept the score up to 15. Due to only having 5, Hannah was sent out to bat with Yulia for the final pair, and she was able to prevent a repeat of her first time at bat and was not dismissed at all. Yulia was out twice, caught by Geetma, once off the bowling of Yekaterina and once off the bowling of Sharmali. The tight bowling from Beanish and Sharmali in particular gave Tallinn no chance of getting near the total, and Penguins won by a massive 60 runs. Player of the match was Yekaterina for her 12 runs and 2 wickets. In match 2, Tallinn again won the toss and elected to bowl. Penguins kept the same opening pair of Olga and Yekaterina, and they improved greatly on their solid score from the first time. This time, neither of them lost their wicket, and they racked up an impressive 37 runs from their 3 overs. Beanish and Sharmali came in next for Penguins, looking to carry on where the first pair had left off. Beanish in particular was very effective in finding the back wall, scoring 3 fours. However, both batters were dismissed once each, so they ended up only adding 24 to their team's score. The final pair for Penguins once again were gifted a lot of freebies from the Tallinn bowlers, with wides and no balls. But if they had been able to bowl tighter, things would have been very different, as Hannah showed great agility in the field to execute 3 run-outs. As it was, Penguins finished on 89, having lost 5 wickets. Tallinn switched things up in their batting order, with Natalia and Fatima opening, and they got their side off to the perfect start with a score of 33 thanks to 20 runs coming from wides. But with neither batter getting out, things were looking better for Tallinn. Unfortunately, pair 2, Hannah and Ragne, couldn't continue the momentum, thanks to Hannah getting run out twice and Ragne getting brilliantly caught behind by Olga off the bowling of Yekaterina. Tallinn were on 35. This time Natalia batted with Yulia for pair 3. Natalia batted well, again not getting out once. However, her partner was not so lucky, getting run out by Beanish and also falling victim to wicketkeeper Olga, who caught her off the bowling of Beanish. Tallinn finished on 46, resulting in a 43-run win for the Penguins. Player of the match was Geetma, who scored 23 runs.
Welcome to the fantastic old town of Tallinn, Estonia, also home of the Estonian Cricket Association. The Tallinn Old Town dates back to the 13th and 14th century, potentially earlier. It's also listed as a UNESCO Heritage World Site. It was absolutely fantastic. It's not a big old town, it's just over 1 kilometre squared, but it's a lovely old town. The Nigalisti Church and the St. Olave's Church are famous in the old town. They've been around for 400 or 500 years and have survived many a lightning attack, many a war, and they keep thriving today. The roofs are very steep for the heavy snowy winters, and the walls are very thick, up to 1 metre in some areas, to ensure the heat stays inside during very cold winters. This is the Old Town Square, and it's Christmas time. We have Christmas markets, we have a Santa Claus, we have mulled wine, we have vendors selling warm stuff. This is a great place to visit whenever you're nearby. This is the oldest operating pharmacy in the world. Opened in 1422, it is still serving customers today. This is St. Caterina's Passage, housing tombstones from the monastery from the 13th and 14th century. Although cricket is relatively new in Estonia, dating back to 1990, early 2000s, we're looking forward to promoting cricket as an exciting, engaging sport moving forward. Cricket in Estonia is on its way up, and we want everyone to join us on this journey to the top. At the top of Old Town here, we have a plaque, and according to legend, this is where the Danish flag was born 800 years ago. On June 15, 1219, Danish forces were fighting a battle in Tallinn and were on the defensive when suddenly a red banner with a white cross fell from the sky. As a result, their luck had changed. The Danish army won and Denmark got its flag. An amazing story that goes back over 800 years. Incredible. Also next to that area is Toompea Castle. It's a medieval castle in the centre part of Tallinn. In modern times, it still serves as the House of Parliament of Estonia. Thank you for coming on the journey with me, and please continue to come on the journey with ECA and Estonia moving forward.
This weekend we have the last domestic cricket of 2022. There will be games in the Men's Indoor Division 2 and the final game of the Women's Indoor League. So I'm here with the ECA Operations Manager, Terry O'Connor, to get his tips for this week's action. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you, Ragne. This weekend in the Men's Division 2, we have Tartu playing against Viking Stars. In their first 2 games of the season, Tartu were missing a number of their leading players and suffered huge defeats as a result. And if again they're going to be without the likes of Savio, Simoon and Casey, I fear it will be a repeat of that. But even if those players were with them, I think they would find it hard against Viking Stars. Viking Stars put on an impressive score of 144 in their last game, so I think the Vikings will be the ones who come out on top. For match 2 of the day, Tartu are up against Hippos. These 2 teams met a couple of weeks ago, and it was a very one-sided game. Hippos won the match by 100 runs, and I'm sure that Tartu will do much better this week, and if they can stop running themselves out quite so much, they will be able to get a decent score. But even though that would put some pressure on Hippos, I think Hippos will be too good, and I'm going to tip them for the win.
And Jeremy, what about the Women's Indoor League?
The 2 Women's Indoor League matches this weekend see Saaremaa taking on Tallinna. Obviously the loss of Victoria for your Tallinna side is a big impact, and I understand you're also going to be without Hannah and Natalia this weekend, so lots of changes. However, you will have the very experienced Lena coming into the side, so I hope she's able to make a big impact for you. Despite that, I think Saaremaa will be too strong. Anna-Marie has been bowling really well, and Amy's looking really good with the bat. And so I think that Saaremaa will take both games.
Not only does this weekend feature the last domestic cricket of this year, it's also the final week of our Kids Intro to Cricket program. You can follow all the action of our men's and women's indoor league on our YouTube channel. Thanks to our sponsors, Bluff VPN, Sportsbet.io, HML Project Management, Nordecon Beton, and Hi.com for their continued support of cricket in Estonia.